Hello everybody, hope you're okay. In a recent video I uploaded, somebody made a comment saying, I refreshed the page and your YouTube likes went down. So I thought I'd make a video about how that happens and why they go down, what happens, how it's all complicated and how the system works. So let's jump over to the computer where I got Excalibur so I can help better represent this for you. So here you go on the computer. I'm going to represent users using the circle. Let's say this is in green. So we got our users. Got user 1. I'm not going to number them. We'll just copy these. So we got our 6 users that these people are accessing your YouTube video. We'll talk about it in terms of views. I think that's just easier to say. So they've all got their computers. Let's assume these are users' computers watching your video. YouTube has its servers. We're going to represent these with diamonds. Let's put these in red. So YouTube has its core server. This is where it keeps track of the views. So if you imagine it this way, every single user that watches connects to this core system. They're all connecting to YouTube's core server to watch your video, right? That results in a lot of traffic for this server, which has to manage likes, actually sharing the content, counting the views, doing all the analyticsy stuff, handling all the APIs and stuff like that to handle all the content that you need to see. That would work to a scale, but say this wasn't 6 users, but 6,000 users. That server, that single server, can only be so big. So the way they do it is something called distributed servers, and they're using microservices. So they're running servers on the edge. Let's look at that. So instead of having this core service, say you've got users over here, and then users over here. Then we're going to have some more servers. Got one here, and one here. We're going to call these edge. These servers. These are servers that run on the edge, so they are closer to the user, say, in your geographical region. So maybe that might be the United Kingdom for me, that might be London specifically, you might have you'll have a few in America, or in all of the different states, stuff like that, over one in Australia. That results in better quality video for you, because the content hasn't got to come from their core server, which is located somewhere. And all these do is they then get and receive the content. They essentially act as a cache. So the core server holds the core raw video and it gets distributed out as they need it closer to the user. Right? But when the user presses the like button or watches it as a view, the views don't end up back at the core server. They use something called eventual consistency, which essentially means that over time, the server will be correct. Over a given time frame, whether it's 24 hours, 48 hours, 7 days, whatever, the server will eventually be correct. It doesn't need to be correct every moment, but it will be eventually correct over time. Let's look at that. So, you're this user, you're Bob. Bob likes my content. He's submitted a like. And then what happens to his like is he submits his like, it goes up the chain to the edge server. The edge server then keeps track of it. So it says it's got likes 1. And then that's there. But over here, James he also liked my video. And he says likes 1. So there's now 1 like at each of those systems, right? But for some reason, Bob refreshes the video page. He might not actually hit this edge server. He might end up hitting this server over here. So let's move his arrow over here. He has liked this video, but now he's queried a server that has the likes currently at 0. So on his system, the likes will have gone down to 0. It will still show that he's liked it because that's cached in the app, but the likes will have gone down to 0. So it will say 0. Say he's liked it, but it'll say 0. That's because Bob has now queried a server that says that the likes are 0. But after some time, say there's been some likes here, say we've got 10 likes over here, 5 likes over here, and maybe 1 over here. these likes will have taken place. These likes have happened, and actually, we want all the users to make sure they see those likes. So say, every, say, 30 seconds or so, the core server gets told about likes. So this edge server sends a query up to the core server saying likes are 10. The core server then knows that the likes on this video are 10. But then say this edge server queries and says that it's got likes that are equal to 5. It then looks at that and it looks at the current likes. It says, right, this server's got 5 likes. I've got 10 likes. We'll add those 5 on top. That's now 15 likes, and it sends back down the line to the edge server in its response, likes now 15. It then updates its number to be 15. It now knows there are a total of 15 likes. And that's kind of how it works. You get the idea. You add what it adds it there. So what this works out is, the further away you end up being from the core counting system, the more likely you are to get a different value. But it will eventually be consistent over a period of time. YouTube aren't worried that this isn't accurate 100% of the time. They don't need it to be real time. It's not like concert tickets. So have you ever been, when you're on a concert site, when you're on a site like that, say you're on your concert ticket site, you got your users, there is going to be one server. There'll be one server. And then what happens is, they queue. One can connect, and while that one's connecting, the next one has to wait. I've not demonstrated this very well. But essentially, there's a server that can only handle a maximum amount of bandwidth. That's why you sit in those queues when you're connecting to a ticket server. Because they can't sell you the same ticket twice. So if they sold seat A1, and then sold seat A1 at the same time to somebody else, that's not going to work. They've sold the same ticket twice. Whereas YouTube doesn't have that problem, because it doesn't need to be correct 100% of the time. It just eventually needs to be right, so that the creator can get paid, they can see how popular the video is. That takes time. With more popular videos, say it was a Mr. Beast video, they might be updating these like counts and the view counts, say, every 5 seconds, once it's been freshly published. But once the video's been around on the internet for about a month or so, they might only update the like count for that video every minute, maybe 5 minutes, because the difference isn't that much. Once the traffic calms down, they'll all eventually sort themselves out. That's kind of how this works. I hope this has been interesting, and I hope I've explained this to you in a way that you've understood it. If you've enjoyed this video, there's a button specifically for that somewhere down there. Hit that. It makes a massive difference to me. I hope you're enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one.